The last thing you want to do is be in retirement and go, I wish I had done X. If only I had set up Y. Oh, why didn't I do Z? That's what today's video is going to be all about, the regrets that people have when they retire, and specifically how to avoid them. Now, once again, I'm Taublieb, and I am the youngest person you know who loves financial planning, who loves retirement planning specifically. That's what I do, and I have the best job in the world. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you understand exactly why I love this, and it's because it's not about the money. Yes, of course it's about the money. But it's not, and here's why. It's not because it's about optimizing what you care about most. It's not just about maximizing return. Of course we want to do that. That is a given. But it's about understanding what do you care about most, how do we let our money help us to do more of that. So here are the 5 regrets in retirement that most people have and how to avoid them. Number 1, I wish I had started my transition to retirement sooner. Short version, I wish I started practicing retirement. So many people say, I've been working for so long, it's been so stressful, I just cannot wait to retire, and then they do. They do retire, and they go, what on earth do I do with my time? Yeah, you might have thought about, yes, I can go hiking, go out to eat more, maybe spend time with children. Well, that's wonderful, but how many hours of the day does that really fill up, and do you want to only be doing that? Because so many people retire, and I speak with them on a daily basis, and they say, Ari, if only I had known how much time I'd really have in retirement and what I'd want to do. The first thing I tell you, and all my retirees, is don't feel you need to have it totally figured out. No one ever does. But here's what I do tell you. Practice retirement today. You might be in your early 50s. You might be in your late 50s. You might be in your early 60s going, I am getting ready for retirement. Well, start practicing retirement today. Now, I know you're still at work, and some of you are going, all right, it's pretty dumb for you to say that. I'm still at work. I can't exactly practice not working, which is very reasonable. But what I can tell you, start practicing retirement in what your activities are going to be. What are you going to do? How much time do you really think that's going to make up? You can get a general sense for that. In the same way you get a general sense of what's it going to cost to retire, but you don't exactly know until you officially retire. So that's what number 1 is practice retirement today. Regret number 2, I wish I had started high-level strategies earlier. And what they mean by that is I wish I had looked into what are the right accounts I should own, how should I transition in terms of where do I pull income from. Oh my gosh, I have Social Security. I might have a pension. I have a Roth IRA. I have a brokerage account. What do I do with all these moving pieces? How should I be invested? This is exactly the bulk of the work that I do, and it's stressful. Because when you're looking at this, you're going, what am I, an expert? No, you've been working 30, 40, 50 years at your job going, hey, I've done a good job. I now just want to make sure I'm doing the right things. And so the regret that most people have is that they go, I wish I had implemented these high-level strategies earlier. Because, for example, you might have heard of a Roth conversion. What is a Roth conversion? It's where you move money intentionally from an IRA to a Roth IRA, knowing you're going to be in a lower tax bracket. So what you're doing is saying, I'm going to intentionally pay taxes today, so I never have to pay them in the future because all of the growth is in a tax-free Roth IRA, for example. And when we do that, you have to think, well, how do we do that? Well, we can't do that while we're working. Now, can you? Yes. But does it make sense to? That's another topic. Because if you already have income coming in, we don't want to pay taxes at your high tax bracket, maybe some of your highest earning years ever. No, we want to do that when you retire, when income is low. But how does that impact your Social Security, your pension? They all talk to each other. These high-level strategies that can save us tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, well, can we start those in thinking about that before we officially retire? Regret number 3, I wish I was open to changing strategies. Some people are just married to a strategy, and sometimes, not a bad thing, what's done so well for them is what they know, and it's what they believe in, and it's what they trust. And so if they've had a 70-30 portfolio, 70% stocks, 30% bonds for the majority of their career, and they go, it's made me a ton of money, that's what I believe in, well, that might have worked for you in one stage of life. And working for you is a different thing than is that what you should have done. Now, what if you had optimized and you had 100% stock, 0% bonds? Could you have made more money? Well, yeah, most likely, but that's not what financial planning is all about. Remember, it's about the experience. How do you feel along the way? Of course you want to maximize your money, but what if that comes at a cost? And what if that cost is one, seeing your money go up and down a whole bunch, which you might not want, or number two, which I would argue a bigger risk, what if it impacts your health? What if you don't sleep at night well because of the way your investments are allocated? Well, in my opinion, we're missing the whole boat there, because that is not a fun experience. Tell me in the comments below, how were you invested before you retired? Or if you're on your way to retirement right now, tell me exactly how are you invested, and are you planning on keeping that same allocation, or are you saying, you know what, when I retire, it's going to be a whole lot different. So regret number 3 is many people say, you know what, I've had this retirement allocation, I've had this plan of the way I invest, and I want to keep it that way. Well, one thing to consider is, do you need a different plan because of the stage of life you're going into? Regret number 4, I wish I had kept my eye on the prize. And what they mean by that is, I wish that when the markets were doing what they're doing, I didn't pull out. Or I wish that when taxes were changing and brackets are going up, you didn't say, you know what, I want to try to make less money, which I know might sound crazy, but there are clients I've spoken with, not good, not bad, but the reality is there are clients who have said, Ari, I don't want to pay any more in taxes. I want to turn down that job opportunity. Well, what if you paid more taxes but you were happier? Would that make more sense? Sometimes it might. Sometimes you say, you know what, it just would crush me to pay more in taxes. And I might say, well, client, does that mean you make more money? You might say yes. And if you still say, you know what, knowing that I still don't want to take the job, well, then that's a different conversation. But if they go through that, and sometimes they say, you know what, Ari, I had not considered that, but now I realize that I do want to pay more taxes because I'm going to make more money, but ultimately it's not about that. Do you want to have a better experience? And experience means life. Meaning, can you get more value out of your dollars? That's really what financial planning is. It's not about saying, can I make $10 trillion? Of course, we all want that, but it's unrealistic, one, unless you know a stock tip that I don't know. But I don't even believe in stock tips, because the reality is, if anyone has a tip about any stock here or there, that I'm skeptical of that person, because I don't want to own just one company. I want to own thousands of companies, because the reality is none of us know what's going to do really, really well and what's going to do not so well. So regret number 4 is really about understanding, with everything you're going on, with everything in life, keep your eye on the prize. What are your major goals? Is it spending time with grandchildren? Is it traveling the world? Is it international traveling specific? What do you care about most? Let your money help you do that. And regret number 5, which is the biggest, I wish I did not put off the difficult decisions. I wish that I had spoken with my parents about their money. I wish I had spoken with my children about what they wanted to do earlier in life. What if you had the funds to support your children's goals of buying a house, but you just didn't know or didn't want to have the conversation, and it's okay if you didn't, with them to do that? The last thing I want is for you to pass away with millions of dollars, saving and investing well, but not getting to enjoy the fruits of what you work so hard for. That would be missing the point if you ask me. Now, did you get a whole lot of money? Did you get a great return? Yes. But money is not the end goal. The end goal is a successful life. And how do we maximize that? We use money. We want to be invested for growth. Of course, we don't want to pay any more in taxes than we need to. But don't put off the big decisions. And some of those big, difficult decisions is speaking with family about money. Is thinking about, what is life expectancy in your family not a fun conversation? What about long-term care? Is that something you want to consider? Do you sleep well at night knowing you don't have a policy? Or do you go, you know what, I have enough set aside that I can self-insure should that event occur. I'm okay with that. I do sleep well at night. I have a plan. You can see all of these regrets. They are common, they are real, and they are conversations that I have with clients every single day. I'm making this video based off of regrets that they've told me about, and I wanted to make a video to show all of you. So tell me in the comments below, what are you regretting in retirement? Or majorly, and what I like to say above all else, if there was any guidance as a retiree yourself that you could give someone who is hoping to retire, what would you say? Put it in the comments below. Tell them exactly what you did that helped you retire. How did you do it? Simply enough. So please, once again, I love YouTube. YouTube is free, and so they make these videos access to all of you. All I ask is that you share it with a friend so that they can retire with you, so that you do not have to travel alone. Retirement is more fun with your friends and family. And so please, as always, subscribe for new content every week.